A few Thanksgivings ago, one of our trailer parks made the news because there was a baby murdered in there.
That was pretty terrible.
Was pretty terrible, but that was like that happened on Thanksgiving. Like they were like people were sending me pictures of it, not of the news being there, not of the murder. But anyways,
Work order?
didn't get a work order.
No.
It was
We found out third hand.
find out third hand. It was very, very, very strange. Now we did get a work order when the same trailer park guy committed suicide. We got a work order
that
for
was
that.
a different dude. 2 trailers over.
It was number 1 and number 5 was, but no, the dude committed suicide. The trailer next door just submitted a work order like, hey, I don't know if anybody's told y'all, but there's a dead guy in the yard. We're like, and y'all, I mean, I don't read a lot, but I do check my email because my email tips me off on everything else. Like I check Teams, my notifications on Teams. I scroll Teams early in the morning, but I'm always checking my emails, and so I see those work orders that come in, and any of them that come in at night, I automatically open them up because it's typically something that can't wait till morning. So anyways, that one came in like 11 o'clock at night. I opened it up. I was like, what in the holy hell is going on?
Who do you call?
I called that tenant. I was like, is this what's, like, no, the police are here. They pulled him out. He's on a gurney. Like, all right, that's cool. And so anyways, I was like, well, we had the original work order made it sound like somebody's just like anybody.
Yeah, there's a body, someone should
laying in the ground. Yeah, you know what I mean? But anyways, that wasn't the case. And at that time we didn't know, or I didn't know that it was a suicide. So you could automatically assume it's natural causes. I didn't think anything was wrong because we figured the police would reach out to us. It wasn't until the next day when we called the police to find out, hey, we're the owners of this. What's going on? And they're like, well, it wasn't a homicide, but it wasn't a natural causes. And so then we started looking for his family that he didn't have. Redid our whole lease after that because we could not find this guy's family, and the state of Texas process for removing a deceased person's stuff is just too long. So we redid our lease and now have a firm. This is what happens, which is the lady in Comanche. Do you remember that?
Is that the bird lady?
No, I don't think she
the
passed
death bird
away.
lady.
I think she went to hospice. But there was a guy, blind guy, and we talked to the police. I really do believe. I can't help but believe that lady was involved because there's a blind guy that lived in our apartment complex when the big freeze happened, Snowmageddon. We met him because he was left behind by his caretaker. Now, she was his caretaker as far as we knew, you know what I mean, until I was introduced, but she was not an official caretaker. She was just some chick that was using him.
Free place to
live. Had his Social Security benefits, all of this. So his rent gets paid early. So his rent gets paid early. And then we find out he's deceased. He never paid rent early, and he's blind. So he would mail in a money order, and for the first time ever, he paid online. And then the next day, we get a call from her that he died, and we're like, what? All right.
It seems suspicious.
It was super
He was
suspicious.
suddenly able to download an app
and pay his rent online, and then we find out that he's deceased. And so, anyways, we reached out to her, and she's like, yeah, I was, I'm to take over this, and blah 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 blah. And we're like, no, lady, you have your name's not listed anywhere on this lease. So we reached out to his daughters, and they're like, what? We're like, oh yeah, sorry, he's not.
Did they know about the lady living with him?
Yeah, and they had their suspicions too, because it was just a weird deal all the way around. But I mean, the police didn't even let his next of kin. They didn't even let his daughters know.
Well, but I mean, they never let us know when any of those other things happened either. Like, I think people would expect that to happen when they're landlords, and they don't.
No, I'm saying the police did not call his daughters
Right.
and tell them
Like
that
your
he was
dad's passed.
deceased. So we were the ones that broke the news to them because they were the ones that were on his lease. So we called them, and they started fighting with her. Had to get the police over there. We had to criminally trespass her. She's trying to show that she lived there and all this. And his rent was paid up. I mean, he paid a month in advance. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we had to refund the family the money. It was just a big mess. But long story short, because we had it in lease, we had a very clear, and it's kind of a brutal thing. Like, I mean, we're like a week. You got a week to get their belongings out, and then we take them out and we store them for 60 days, and that's it. So, I mean, imagine you finding out, someone is deceased, and then you got a week to get their stuff out. You'd be pretty
Pissed.
offended by it, but
Yeah.
that's just the process.
But a lot of that's also displaced anger.
Not really. I mean, the reason why we did it for a week is because people come in from way outside of town most of the time, anyways, and it actually helps them stay punctual
Yeah, no, I get that.
with their responsibilities. Versus if you give them a month or 2 weeks or whatever, then they'll say, "Oh, we'll come back and do it." I mean, these people they showed up, got all of his things, and left the keys for us, and that was it. And we had possession of it back, and we cleaned it up and rented it out. So, I don't know, Spoonie. It seemed a little cruel, but
I think most of the anger that happens around a death is all I'm saying is it's misdirected. Like, you need somebody to be mad at. I understand why we had to do it business wise because we've encountered it multiple times.